Hello, Abby, coming to you live from LU. We're about to get some wrong answers only from you guys, so stay tuned. Caroline, who was the first president of the United States?
Beyonce.
Marley, what's your favorite color?
Grape.
Lexi, who's your favorite volleyball player?
Me.
Wrong answers only.
You didn't.
Lexi, who's your favorite volleyball player ever?
Jennifer Aniston.
Kyle, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Ranch dressing.
Walter, what's your favorite basketball team?
Tesla.
Terrence, who's your favorite football team?
The United States.
Alyssa, what color is the sky?
Mayonnaise.
Chance, who's your favorite singer?
Favorite singer? Definitely George Washington.
Jalen,
What?
what's your favorite song?
I don't know.
Jalen. What's your favorite song?
Baseball.
Donald Trump.
Good. Taylor, who's your favorite actress?
Coconut shrimp.
Jordan, what is the capital of the United States? What's the capital of the United States?
Montgomery.
Yes. Who's your favorite pastor?
Panda.
Who's your favorite pastor?
Turkey feet.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed all of our wrong answers, but I just have a couple of announcements. Number one, if you want to sign up for LU, you can still sign up. There's one more day. Number two, we have Motion coming up. We want you to sign up. It's a free event. Yes, I said free. It's gonna be so much fun. We the Kingdom's gonna be there. Some familiar faces like Desperation Worship's gonna be there. And I just can't wait to see you there. So I hope you guys will sign up. Registration's already up. Go ahead and sign up. It's in our link in our description on Instagram. So go ahead, sign up. We want you to come. We want you to be a part. And yeah, peace, everybody.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Crew. We are so excited that you're here. If you don't know me, my name is Taylor. I am the Jasper Campus Crew Leader, and I'm so excited to be speaking to you guys tonight. And if you don't know me, I always start off with these things called catastrophes, which is just a catastrophe that I do every single week because this is bound to happen. So my catastrophe this week is I went to the lake on Saturday, and there was a giant cliff. And of course, I want to jump off the giant cliff into the water because who wouldn't? And I climbed up to the top and I was like, wow, this is really high, but you know what? I'm gonna jump off it anyways. And I was told when I hit the water that I needed to keep my feet together so my legs didn't go all crazy and hurt myself. And I didn't do what I was told to do. And my feet hit the water and my leg kind of went behind me instead of down like it was supposed to. And I pulled all of the muscles in the back of my leg. So when I bend it now, it kind of locks up, not like this, but I have to be bending down. Kind of locks up and I can't really move it, but you know what? It's okay because I jumped off a 25-foot cliff, and I think that that is great for me because that's pretty scary. But anyways, today I'm going to be speaking on something that I've heard a lot of people talking about, a lot of students, a lot of people just coming up, and we've been having the same conversation about rejection. And I think it's something that everybody goes through. But not a lot of people talk about because a lot of people fear rejection. I know I do, and a lot of people are embarrassed to talk about being rejected. So rejection is something that we all go through, but we never realize how much of an impact that it makes on our lives until we truthfully walk through being rejected. So the truth is we all want to be accepted, right? Everybody wants to be accepted. So it's something that the human flesh just strives for. Whether it's a group of friends that you want to be accepted in, a job that you want to be accepted in, or a school that you want to be accepted in, or relationships, anything, we all just want to be accepted. And I've always wanted to be that person that doesn't get affected by rejection. I've always wanted to be that person that's just like, oh, I got rejected, but you know what? I'm fine because it's just going to make me a better person in the end. When in all reality, I think that I can do that, but rejection really hurts in any type of situation. Rejection hurts. So, and something that I would always say is, oh, rejection just makes me better. But it's not something that I ever really felt. So a couple years ago, I walked in a really tough season of rejection. And I really learned so much from then until where I am now, just how much it affected me. And I'm sure so many of you have been affected by rejection. So I consistently caught myself walking in this not good enough mindset, that I'm not good enough for what I'm doing. I was consistently comparing myself to everything and everybody and everything that I did. And it was such an unhealthy cycle to be in. And I remember I would sit in my room at night and I would journal and I would just ask the Lord, I'd beg the Lord, I'd say, God, please take this hurt from me. I don't want to do this anymore. I would sit in my bed and just cry and cry because I didn't want to feel rejected anymore. So eventually it started to affect my ministry. I felt unqualified in my ministry. I got to the point where I wanted to just stay home and not be around people. And if you know me, I'm a very people person. I love being around people. But the rejection affected me so much. I let it affect me so much that I didn't even want to be around people anymore. I didn't even feel good enough to lead students. And students is my passion. It is what I love doing so much. But I let rejection affect that so much that I didn't even think that I could lead students anymore. So during the beginning of quarantine this year, I caught myself starting to slip into those same lies that I had worked so hard to get out of years ago. I caught myself thinking, oh man, I'm not good enough for this, or oh man, I'm not doing enough, because I had time to sit in my thoughts and I had time to sit and reflect on the rejection that I felt before that I didn't really feel now, but the enemy was really trying to use against me. And some things that I started reflecting on that I used to think over the years were maybe some of the stuff you've experienced too was you're pretty, you're just not pretty enough, or you're good at what you do, you're just not good enough, or you're smart, but you're just not smart enough, or you're worthy, but you're just not worthy enough for this. And I used to feel those things every single day, and it brought me down so much. Every single day I'd wake up, and those are the things that would consistently run through my head. So not enough is a label that I labeled on myself. I did it to myself. And it was something that I had worn for everybody to see. And I thought that I was so good at hiding it, but I wasn't. You could literally slap one of those, hello, my name is rejection stickers on there. Yeah, that's exactly, hello, my name is not worthy. That's exactly what I felt like I was doing. So it was this season that I felt like was never going to end. It just felt like I was going to be sitting in this forever. Now, praise Jesus, I'm able to sit here and tell you that I walked out of that season so fully and so healed. But while I was in it, it was definitely not a fun process. I felt like I was fighting in the depths of hell itself. It really was just so hard. So I want to look at the story of Joseph. And Joseph had been taken to Egypt. And in Egypt, he was one of Pharaoh's officials. The captain of the guard brought him from the Ishmaelites who had taken him there. The Lord was with Joseph so that he prospered, and he lived in the house of his Egyptian master. When his master saw the Lord was with him, and the Lord gave him success in everything he did, Joseph found favor in his eyes and became his attendant. Potiphar put him in charge of his household, and he entrusted to him to care for everything he owned. From the time he put him in charge of the household and all that he owned, the Lord blessed the household of the Egyptians because of Joseph. The blessing of the Lord was on everything Potiphar had, both in the house and in the field. So Potiphar left everything in Joseph's care. With Joseph in charge, he did not concern himself with anything except for the food that he ate. And when I was reading that, there was this little note in the side of my Bible, and it said, before all of this, Joseph was rejected, betrayed, and abandoned by his own family. His status changed in an instant from favored son to anonymous slave in the house of the Egyptians. Notice that there was no mention of time in verses 1 and 6. So we have no idea how long Joseph was a slave until these events started to unfold. It could have been months or it could have been years. And at this vulnerable point in life, Joseph could have easily given into desire of hopelessness. But instead, he chose to apply himself to the service in Potiphar's household. So after I read this, it kind of just hit me that if Joseph can endure being rejected and legit thrown into slavery, why was that a season that I felt like I couldn't walk out of? If Joseph was so rejected by his own family and he could walk out of that, why do I think that I couldn't walk out of the emotional rejection that I had felt? So it's not easy, but it is more than possible. Just know that. It's not an easy process, but it is more than possible for you to be able to do it. So how do you walk out of feeling rejected? I'm going to give you a couple steps. Number one is you have to believe that it's okay to not be okay. And this is something that I am not good at. I am the type of person that's just like, everything's fine, everything's great, everything's dandy. And I don't like people to know when I'm not okay, except for when I cry. And if you know me, I cry every single day. But there's a lot of times that I don't like people not knowing that I'm okay because I want to be the one to help people. I don't want to the one that people have to come and help. And I've had to die to self a lot to that. But you have to let yourself hurt, and you have to let yourself be broken. You have to let yourself feel what you're going through so you can be healed from it. So I was reading this book by Lisa Turkist, and it was talking about pottery, that a lot of potters, what they do is they break the pottery that they're using into a bunch of little pieces, sometimes even into this fine dust. And they have to break it down into this dust to be able to sculpt it and mold it into the masterpiece that they want, which is exactly what the Lord is doing to you in that season. Is when you feel rejected and hurt and you just feel like you're being broken into a million pieces, even to the point that you feel like you're dust on the ground, the Lord is going to use that to sculpt you into this beautiful, beautiful creation that you are, that you're able to walk out and you're able to say, hey, I went through this, but this is where I am now. I had to be dust and I had to be broken for the Lord to sculpt me into what he wanted me to be today. So we have to walk through low places of the process before we are perfectly equipped to live the promise. God is far more interested in your being prepared than your being comfortable. That hit me hard, is God is far more interested in you being prepared than you being comfortable. I don't know about you, but I love being comfortable. I don't like being in a season that I feel uncomfortable. That's just not fun. I don't think anybody does. But rejection and hurt are uncomfortable, but the results are far more powerful. Point number 2 is we have to believe that we will be okay. The hardest part about this is coming to terms that we might not know why we're walking through what we're walking through until later down the road. But holding on to the hope that we will see why is the bigger picture. It's really hard to say, hey, you know, I'm going through this now, but I know there's a reason. You know, it's easy to say, I know I feel rejected right now. I know there's a reason. It's hard to say that, or it's easy to say that, but it's hard to truthfully believe that when you don't see the bigger picture right in front of you. So there's a song, I'm sure most of you know, it's called Another in the Fire, and there's a line that says, your love is too good to leave me here. So the Lord loves us enough to put us in situations that sometimes we pray to never be in, but he loves us so much that he won't leave us there. He sometimes allows us to be in these situations so he can mold us, but he also loves us way too much to not leave us in those situations. For example, this is not really an example, but I'm going to use it as an example. When I was in 4th grade, I had this massive crush. I thought this was the love of my life in 4th grade. And I remember being at the skating rink when the skating rink was the cool thing to do. And one of those couple songs came on where you hold hands and skate around the rink. And I was like, oh, now is my time because we are here together. And he skated up to me and my heart started beating. And he said, hey. And I said, hey. He said, you know your friend over there? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, can you help me, can you set me up with her? Because I want to skate around with her. And I was like, yeah, for sure. I'll just do anything. I'm like, yeah, I'll go get her. So I went and got her, and I watched them skate around together holding hands, and man, did I feel rejected. I thought that was the love of my life in 4th grade. But for real, there is situations like divorced parents, being rejected, feeling from a boyfriend or a girlfriend that you're broken up with, a friend group, with a job. I've gone through every single one of these, and it all feels like rejection when you're not accepted. If your parents get divorced, you feel like they're rejecting you. Not in all situations, but some situations. Or if your boyfriend or your girlfriend break up with you, you feel rejected. If you don't get the job, you feel rejected. If you're not part of your friend group anymore, you feel rejected. That's just our natural thing, to feel rejected. But our current circumstance is not our final destination. You have to believe that you will not live in your pain forever. And point number 3 is you have to allow yourself to be okay. So the hardest part of this step that I realize is we get so used to sitting in our pity and our sorrow that it becomes normal to us to feel hurt and rejected. But we have to allow ourselves to walk out of that. So it's our choice whether we stay stuck in this hurt or whether we get renewed in our hearts. And I'll say that again. It's our choice whether we stay stuck in the hurt or get renewed in our hearts. But this is not something that we can do on our own. Allow people to help you walk through your pain. So important to allow people in your lives. Our motto at DC is don't do life alone with our community groups that just started back this Sunday. It is so important to be in a community group. But that's not just for the fun moments in our lives. Yes, community groups are so much fun, but community groups and community in general around you is for the dry and painful seasons of your life too. We can't walk through seasons of our lives alone like that. We need community to help us through it. So we have to allow the Lord to work. The restoration that is impossible with man's limitations is always possible for a limitless God. I'll read that again. The restoration that is impossible with man's limitations is always possible for a limitless God. Let Jesus win the battle that you're trying to fight on your own. I am so good at saying, Lord, thank you, but I got this. Like, I can take care of it. Like, thanks, Lord, but you know what? I got this one. Obviously, it never works out in the end for me. But I was reading in Matthew 4. It's when Jesus healed the dead man and brought him back to life. And what it made me realize is Jesus wants to heal you. He literally wants to come in and heal your brokenness, heal that hurt that you feel from being rejected. So if I serve a God that can bring the dead to life and that can heal the blind, who am I to believe that he can't heal my emotional pain? So in Matthew 4, he's literally bringing dead people to life. He's literally healing blind people so they can see. And if Jesus can do that, who am I to sit here and think, oh, you know what? I just don't know if he can bring me out of this emotional hurt. I mean, that's crazy to think. Jesus literally wants to heal you. Literally wants to heal you. And once I realized that is when I started healing, because I knew the Lord wanted it for me so bad. And the last thing is when you get to the place of freedom, walk in it. Walk in the place of freedom when you get there. It's so easy for us to be so used to walking with all these chains dragging us down that when we finally let them go, we sometimes want to be like, oh, let me just pick that up. Don't do it. It's so easy to let the chains fall when they do and then to just easily pick them back up because we get so used to carrying that weight that we feel like we need to pick it back up ourselves. So don't allow yourself to not walk in the freedom that you are fighting so hard to get. You are enough to be healed. And I will end with this. If you don't think you are enough, then Jesus would not have been thinking about you while he was hanging on the cross. Always remember that you are enough. You are more than what you're feeling. You are more than feeling rejected. You are more than what you see in the mirror. You are more than everything because the Lord loves you so much that he was thinking about you when he died on the cross. So I'm going to pray, and then crew leaders, you take over from here. So Jesus, we love you, Father. We are so grateful for your just overflowing love on us, Jesus. And when we feel rejected, God, you take us in your arms and you tell us that we are healed. You tell us that we are whole. You tell us that we are more than enough when we don't feel it, Jesus. When society rejects us, Jesus, you always accept us, Father. You always put the label of love on us, Jesus. I pray that every single student in this room, Father, if they have ever felt rejected, Jesus, that tonight they are able to start walking in healing and start walking in freedom in your love and who you are. We love you and we praise your name. Everybody said, amen. Crew leaders, take it from here.